In this tutorial, we will try to create a model view controller for our REST API applications that will utilize Swagger as the REST API. And in this part, the first part, we will learn how to create the database for the application programming interface and also how to configure each code. So let us start. I'll try to open new window and move it somewhere else. I think I'm gonna move it over here. Okay. Yep. The beauty of using MacBook, I can open many, what you call it, many desktop at once. Okay. So before we start, what is a model view controller? By creating a model, and then we are selecting the actors that we want to create the model for, and then also to create the view as an output for the presentation layer and a controller presentation layer. Yes, so we are trying to send the data and the controller that will handle of the all of the backend communications with our database. So the structure of these applications, the Android applications will be our front end and our REST API using the basic object-oriented programming PHP, and using Swagger later on will be our back end, and the database we will use MySQL. So you have to open the XAMPP. Yeah, I will do the same. I will move it over here. Okay, we'll open XAMPP and make sure all of the servers are running. I will start the MySQL and also the Apache web server. Okay, so how many tables that we are going to create? We are going to create only one tables in here, which is table Mahasiswa, and also one database. We are using the new name database underscore practicum underscore API. Yeah, it is different from our last year tutorial, so bear in mind, do not copy paste or do not try to duplicate the project from the previous semester. So if I happen to catch you duplicated projects, you will get penalties. Okay, I will open the applications by clicking this. Oh wait, I don't want to use Safari, but it's okay lah. Okay, I will open PHP admin, and I will try to create a new database called database practicum. Okay, if you want to try to use a code, you can open the SQL over here. Okay, and you can run a query, but it is much more easier for you to just utilize the user interface by clicking new in here, and database name will be db underscore practicum underscore API. Okay, it will be the same for both studies, Sistem Informasi and Teknik Informatika. There will be no differentiations. Just select as is, do not change anything. Create, okay, and we will create a new table called tb underscore mahasiswa, consisting 1, 2, 3, 4 column. The first one will be ID, the second one will be nama, the third one will be name, and the last one will be IPK. Yeah, if you want to try to modify this table, yeah, you can change with another things. For example, for a filter registrations, yeah, you can change to the amount paid. Okay, amount paid, and also you can change to you can add nomor makan or etc. It is depends on your projects. So later on our next meeting sessions on March 25, yeah, I will teach you how to create the second part and how to configure to help you to finish the final project, and hopefully I can help you. Okay, just create. Okay, the first one will be ID as always will be integer, and we will make it auto increment. Okay, so the index will be primary. After that there will be nama will be varchar, length will be 100. I think that's enough. Okay, and it is not null, so you don't have to check this null, this one. Okay, and then name Name will be variable character. It's okay, but if you want to use number, it is also okay. But I will choose variable character. Okay, and also IPK. IPK, we have to use the variable character because the separations between each number, for example 3.87, yeah, it will be converted to use dot if you are using the Indonesian ways to separate a comma decimal value. But if we are, for example, converting to an US region, we will use a colon over there. Okay, 10, not null, and then just save. The ID, I think, auto increment, yeah. Line values, yeah, you don't have to declare it. Okay, there will be ID, nama, name, IPK. Okay, and we will try to insert, for example, a simple value. The value, since it is auto increment, we don't have to write anything. Yeah, it will be auto increment. The number will be J. The name will be my name. Yeah, this is my name at Unai. The IPK will be my last IPK when I'm graduation is 3.87 if I'm not mistaken. Okay, go insert into table mahasiswa, namanya lalala. Yeah, the values will be null. Yeah, because it is auto increment. Okay, and go. Okay, now we can browse the data. Okay, see there is duplications. Yeah, I will delete one of it. Okay. We already established the database, and now we will try to create the actual API. The structure of the API, we will create numbers of folders inside our htdocs. So for example, when you are trying to install the XMPP on your computer, when you are using Windows, there will be two options. The first one, to install directly on your C folder, and the next one you will install in the program files. So you have to find the htdocs positions. Where is it? As for me, the htdocs located as at documents. At the applications. Yeah, or just simply click the open application folder, and it will show you the actual locations for the for the XMPP. Yeah, see, this is the htdocs. Okay, and I will try to create a new folder called API Mahasiswa. Okay, so how I will access it using localhost / API Mahasiswa, and then we can select the inside files, which is the first one will be index.php. Okay, after creating a new folder, then your task is to creating a several folder. The first folder to config our connections with database, we call it as config. Okay, configurations, and then our models, the models for each entity. In this context, we are talking about mahasiswa. Mahasiswa have their name and also their name and also their IPK. Mahasiswa, sorry, my bad, models. Okay, and the last one, this controllers. Yeah, I'm using as, yeah, because there will be several controllers if you are trying to create another entity. For example, mahasiswa and the relations to courses or organizations. Yeah, depends on your case. Okay, when you are already done that three folders inside our API, the next task is to actually create a new project inside the API Mahasiswa. How to do that? You can open your Visual Studio Code. My bad. Our Visual Studio Code over. Where's my Visual Studio Code? Where is it going? Oh, it is going over here. By ding. Yeah, this one. Okay, and then we will open the folder. Okay, the folder, you have to find that folder. This is annoying, yeah, because I have to find the folder for it. Yeah, XMPP, if I'm not mistaken, htdocs. Yes, htdoc. Okay, API Mahasiswa, and then we just open this folder. Yeah, that's the beauty of using MacBook. You can search for anything from anywhere and you will find the result as soon as possible. Open. Okay, we already opened this folder. You can see there is config, controls, and models. Okay, your first task is to save this workspace as API Mahasiswa.code workspace, and later on you will thank me later. Yeah, you can open this on your Visual Studio Code without having to search for the actual locations of the files. Okay, I will close this agent. We are not good using any agents. No, please do not rely on AI as much as possible. Try to do yourself. If you have some difficulties, you can search on Google or maybe ask AI just to help you to understand what is your problem and how to solve it, rather than just please create my fix my code and then copy paste to your actual to your actual code. Yeah, you are not appreciating yourself for your efforts in doing your codes. Okay, the first one will be our config. Okay, config database. You can create a new file in here. Click this one, new file. Yeah, the name of the file will be database.php. Okay, when we are trying to use PHP here, we have to declare using these configurations. Yeah, it will declare as all of the codes below this line, yeah, is a PHP code. Okay, and we are declaring a new class named database. Okay, database will have some variables. The first one will be host, the second one will be the database name, the third one will be username, the fourth one will be password, and we also will declare how we interact with the database. If the connection is failed, there will be some JavaScript object notations response, and the error itself will be shown in the applications later on. Private. Okay, host, the first one will be host, the host will be localhost. Okay, the next one will be our database name. Yeah, sorry if there is some baby crying. It's not my baby, but it is the patients in the hospital. I'm creating this tutorial on the IGD. Yeah, the beauty of working from everywhere. I can still be productive from everywhere. Yeah, why I'm not creating this module this morning, because I have to check for the progress of our lab. Yeah, when you are coming next week, yeah, you will see some improvement in our labs, and hopefully you will like it. And this is our way to show that we are ready for the accreditations, and also to show to actually use your money for the lab improvement. Okay, the password will be none. Okay, there will be no password. Okay, and then next, the public variable called con, yeah, that will be used to create a connections. Public function connect. Okay, the connect will consist of from these contacts, which is null. Yeah, there will be no connections at all. But after we declare a new connections, we are using MySQL try. Yeah, we are establishing try and catch. And maybe some of you are not familiar with this method, but later on when you are learn about .NET programming, I will explain about try and catch. Maybe you already learn about try and catch in object-oriented programming, and hopefully you already learn about it. If you haven't learned about it, I will be the pleasure for me to describe this con, okay, will be a new MySQL. Okay, the inside will be the definitions of the host username, password, and also database name. This one, okay, this. Okay, for the host, okay, and then this username, this password, the last one, this, and the most important one, this database name. Okay, yeah, don't worry about any error. Yeah, I know, yeah, there will be errors, but it's okay. This con new MySQL, okay, this connection new MySQL as a host username, password, and also database name. I know there will be error in this context because when you are trying to something to create something, you have to make sure that all of the what you call that curly brackets already connected one to each others. Okay, but it's okay. Yeah, after try will be catch. Okay, try this one. If, okay, in this context, connect. If error, yeah, what will happen? Yeah, it will throw a JSON encode and will go die, but encoding some JSON message. JSON encode. Wait a minute. No. Encode. Okay. We are utilizing the array in here. Okay, and then the message. Database connection failed. Okay, and don't forget to use this one. Yeah, okay, I know there will be error because when we are trying to try something, we have to catch. Okay, and don't forget we are not done yet. Yeah, we have to declare the connections to set the character set. This, okay, connections. Okay, set the char set, if I'm not mistaken, char set. Yeah, set char set to use UTF-8. Yeah, this is the most default character set that is used in every what you call it, every programming language. Okay, yeah, don't worry if there is error. Yeah, we can check it later on, read from top to the bottom. Okay, the next one will be catch. After try, there will be catch. Catch. We are catching the exceptions. Exception. Okay, exception. What's the exceptions? We declare it as a exceptions in here, and we declare it as die. Okay, just on encode. Okay, the value will be success is false. Yeah, we are assigning false as the value of success, and then the message there is a problem with database connection. Okay, Yeah, this is the message, and then yeah, we are closing this one, and the last one will be return. Done. Yeah, when we are trying to declare the public functions as connect, yeah, we have to return something, which is this connection status. If the connection is succeeded, yeah, we will get the data from database. If we cannot connect to database, there will be two messages. Yeah, if the connections is error because of the, for example, XAMPP cannot, sorry, for example, you are writing the wrong name of database, the connection, the error will database connection failed. But if the problem is you are not running the Apache server, yeah, the message will be there is a problem with database connections. And this is the first part. Okay, the next one will be creating a modeling for the students. Okay. Selamat makan. Kau sambil bikin modul ya bang? Enak kayaknya. Okay. Yeah, I will try to create the module in here, and now a new file called Mahasiswa.php ya. Bukan pemberi harapan palsu, but the name of the models. Okay, make sure you put it under models in here and create the file. Okay, see, config consists of database, models consists of Mahasiswa.php, and as usual, declare it as yes. Okay, the first class will be Mahasiswa. Okay, we are declaring some Mahasiswa as a class, and then there will be some functions. This is the core of the core, inti dari inti, seperti itu. Private connection. Okay, the connection will be used to communicate with database. We will access this one later on, the class database. Okay, and the next one is table, private table. The table will be tb mahasiswa. Okay, because in database.php we haven't declared any table. It is much better if you declare the table in each models. Okay, so for example, you have a new models as organizations. The table will be tb_organizations. It is much better than write inside the database.php and then you are declaring some new variables for each models. Okay, and we are creating a new construct to communicate to later on we'll communicate to the database. Public function construct database. Okay, and then we are establishing the connecting this connections database. Okay, the next one will be to get by ID, but maybe I think in this each model you have to declare the create, read, update and delete functions for each models. The first one, the read models for the read function for siswa. Okay, public function get all, to get all of mahasiswa. So the query will be select all from database, right? $SQL will be select all from database will be $database. But in this context we are using the value from this and then the construct the value of table. Okay, order by ID and then ascending. Okay, wait, my bad, this table. Okay, order by ascending. Okay, and then return this, the connection, the query, okay, that will run the SQL. Okay, this connection query SQL you can see from database.php. Yeah, these connections, and when they are trying to connect, yeah, it will establish using the MySQL method to talk to the database. Okay, the next one will be public function get by ID. Okay, the parameters will be ID. Okay, wait a minute, what is happening in here? Okay, ID is a new object, ID, and then the SQL you can try to copy paste from here to make it shorter. Select all from this table, and then we are using where ID is the value of ID and limit will be 1. If there is any duplicates, it will only show 1, not all of it. Yeah, the preferred one will be the latest one. Yeah, when we are trying to create using this limit in here. Okay, return this con query SQL. Yeah, I will just copy paste to make it shorter. Yeah, this the connections, and execute the query with the value parameters is SQL. The query will be select all from the name of the table tabel mahasiswa, where ID is the ID that is sent from our front end. The limit will be 1. So this is the beauty of using declarations of tables separately and not using declarations inside the database.php. Okay, the next one, the write function for mahasiswa. Okay, I think you will be ready. Public function. Ya bang, hati-hati bang. Hujan kayak di luar. Untung bawa mobil aku. Iya. Create nama. Okay. Name. IPK. Okay. Make sure it is the same. Yeah, with our configurations to make it easier. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, with our configurations in our database in here. See, nama, name, IPK. Yeah, just remember to make it easier for you. Yeah, make it the same. Okay, and then you will declare the nama. Okay, this. Wait a minute. This connections. Yeah, using the connections, and also we are trying to use a functions real escape string. So it will take any strings from the nama that is sent. Yeah, all of the strings, not strings divided by, for example, blank space. Yeah, if it's, for example, my name is J Idoan Siotang. Yeah, it will receive as J Idoan Siotang, not only J, or not only Idoan, or not only Siotang. Yeah, it will be J Idoan Siotang. Real escape string. Yeah, I know this method when I'm trying to create this module and try to use the best practice. I'm asking Gemini, what is the best practice if I'm used, for example, some of students have a very long name. Yeah, so it is better to use the real escape string rather than using only a string to retrieve a long name. I know most of our parents as a Batak person tends to have a really long name. Okay, I will copy paste to make it shorter. Okay, the next one will name. Yeah, I will paste. String will be name. The last one will be IPK. See, we don't have to retrieve any ID, because in this context, when we are writing, the ID will be auto increment. So you don't have to write any ID. Yeah, the ID will be auto increment. Yeah, the same practice when we are trying to insert a new value in our table on SQL. Yeah, still remember that one, yeah? IPK. Okay, make sure it is the same. See, the error is gone, and there will be some error later on, but hopefully there will be no significant error. Okay, are we done in here? No, we haven't declared the SQL value. Yeah, we have to insert, but I think I will copy paste this one to make it shorter. Ta-da. Okay, and then declare an SQL insert into, what is the name of the table? You are using this context table name, the table. Oops. Okay, this table. Okay, oh sorry, I forgot. Yeah, don't make a new trouble in here. Okay, the variables will be nama, name, IPK. Okay, and the values will be nama. Wait, I will make it nama, name, and also IPK, like this. Yeah, close these values, and we are done. Okay, insert into this table. Okay, this table, I don't know what is happening in here. Yes, this is my problem. Yeah, I tend to forget to use this $sign. Yeah, that is the, what you call that, the problem of using many programming language at one semester. Yeah, in this semester I'm teaching about mobile programming that will utilize Java, and our backend using PHP, and for the computer graphics I'm actually using Python. So that's 3 different programming language. Sometimes I guess I get messed up because I forgot to use the correct syntax for each programming language. So if I'm going back and forth in this tutorial, yeah, please watch it carefully rather than just pause and then skip until the last tutorial sections. Okay, the next one will be the update. Public, the update functions for Mahasiswa. Public function update. The variable will be ID. Why we need ID? Because later on we will retrieve the ID from the database. How to do that? Yeah, you will have to wait for the last part to know how we utilize this one in our front end, and it will be interesting. Interesting. It's really interesting. It's not that hard, but you have to pay attention to the code itself. Okay, remember, don't try to memorize or don't try to just dictate the code, but try to listen to the explanations, and hopefully you will get to understand what I meant with every line of codes. Okay, the ID, this is the same with this one. Yeah, the ID will be the ID declared. Okay, and also the nama will be the nama sent from our front end nama. Okay, this con real escape character, string. Yeah, because string consists of some characters. Okay, this one, this connections real escape string nama. Yeah, I have to make sure that I'm not messing this up. Yeah, hopefully. Okay, the next one is name. You can change it to name. The last one will be $ipk. This, sorry, I forgot. IPK. Okay, now the SQL. Okay, I will return. I will copy this one and to make it easier. Okay, like this. Okay, SQL will be update. Okay, update what? This table. Oops, my bad. This table, we call it table in here, right? This table where ID is our value of ID. Wait a minute, where later on, yeah, when we are updating a value, we have to set something. Set nama as nama. Okay, comma, name is $name. Okay, and the last one will be IPK. Yes, $IPK. Okay, where ID is $ID, and don't forget the titik comma. Okay, update this. What's the problem with this one? Unexpected token return. To update where ID is $ID. Okay, this one is right. Okay. Set nama is nama, name $name, IPK where ID is $ID. Yeah, this is the problem. What is the problem in here? Return. Disconnect corrections SQL. Do I write something wrong in here? Okay, update this table. Set nama, unexpected return. Why is that unexpected? Oh, suddenly it's gone. Yeah, I forgot to save. When I save it, yeah, it is gone. Okay, thankfully. Yeah, the delete functions for mahasiswa. Public function delete. The parameter will be one and the one only ID, and we will return these functions. Just copy paste, don't worry. Okay, and declare the ID in here. Yeah, I think I'm so lazy. Yeah, I mean I have a limited amount of energy today. Yeah, it is already depleted because of doing some things. Delete from this table. Okay, where ID is $ID. And that's it for our models for Mahasiswa. And the last one, yeah, the what you call that, the most interesting one is to actually use a controller that later on will require every directories from the models and also from the database, and will combine all of these functions to create a new API when you are trying to call every variable. So the purpose of using API to make sure that the users or the developer that later on want to create a new applications didn't have any straight connections or direct connections to the database, but utilizing the API to communicate with database. Yeah, that's the main reasons of using what you call that, API. Okay, but give me 2 minutes. Yeah, I will go to the toilet. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it's really short. Okay, the next one is to actually create a new controllers. Yeah, you can try to create a new file in here in controllers. We call it as MahasiswaController.php. MahasiswaController.php. Okay, make sure it is located inside the controllers, and in this controller we will utilize the database.php from the config folder, and also the models from Mahasiswa.php. Yeah, I will make it quick since I have limited time. I have to finish this tutorial by 15 something. Ya, silakan Kak. Okay. Yeah, as usual, we have to declare the PHP and then require once. We are using the directory to navigate to different category, and then the locations will be the root folder of this API, and then inside the configs there will be one file only, database.php. Okay, this is our first task. The next one just copy paste but change it to the models. The name of models will be Mahasiswa.php. Yeah, if you have any problems, make sure you are checking this part. There will be some typo maybe happens when you are trying to create the directory. Yeah, and this is the beauty of using the directory on top of each PHP file to help you in understanding, or if you have any mistake in writing the name of the directory, you can change it easily on top of each files. Okay, we are using the header to declare this file. The content type of this file is application, and utilizing JavaScript object notation JSON in here, and do not forget the semicolon. Okay, we are declaring that the database is a new database. Okay, the connections will be our database, and we, as using the connect feature, oops, my bad, in here, and we are declaring the Mahasiswa, the models, as new Mahasiswa, from these models. Okay, and also we are utilizing the connections that we already declared in the first in the line before. Don't forget the semicolon. Okay, the method we're using the request method. Okay, we are using the request method. Now we are requesting to the server. Okay, now we will switch its method. Depends. There is two methods. The first one will be get. The second one will be post. Yeah, there is two common method. Okay, we will switch each method. Okay, the first one will be case get. Okay, you get it? Get it? Okay, the second one will be case post. Okay, get and also post. Okay, and also this is not common, but it is used case put. Okay, and also delete. And our last one, default. Yeah, default is because there will be no use method, or method is not defined. Yeah, we'll just finish this default section first. Default will be echo. Yeah, we are trying to echoing JSON encode to send it in to our front end encode. Okay, the message. Wait a minute. The message will be, the first one will be the success is false because it is we are not using the right method in this context. It is failing. The success is false. Okay, and the message will be unsupported methods, like this one. Okay, create in here and then break. Okay, it's default. Okay, we will go for each method. The first one will be get. Okay, when we are trying to get a data, okay, we have to get the ID. Okay, if the ID is already set, okay, like this one. Okay, if the ID is already set, okay, then we declare the ID is the ID we get it. I know it is kind of sucks to write in PHP because there will be many symbols and you are not used to utilize any symbols in your code. Yeah, but this is a good practice. Maybe later on your web programming too, yeah, you will use to this method on creating your own API. Yeah, we will utilize Open API 3 if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, we will declare it later on. Get by ID. Okay, still remember this method from where? From Mahasiswa.php. Get by ID. This, see, yeah, get by the ID. We need ID as our parameters. Okay, if the result and the result number of rows, number of rows. That's how you pronounce it. How do you describe it? Not num rows, the number of rows. It will say if there is a result and also the number of rows is greater than 0, then we will try to encode every data, and the data itself will be stored in a variable. We call it row. Row is result. We are trying to fetch the associate. Fetch associate. Okay. And then echo JSON encode. Okay, like this one. Don't forget the semicolon in here. The first one will be success. We define it as success. We are using double C. True. Okay, and the data will be row. Okay, but if the data didn't exist, we have to echo another response. Will be that will be the success is false. The data will be the message will be data not found, like this one. Okay, this is the first if when we are trying to check the result. But if we didn't declare, we are not sending any ID, the other methods from the Mahasiswa.php is get all. Okay, so else in here, you can try to copy paste, but it is much better to type all one by one to make sure that you are understanding every line. What is the purpose of each lines? Result mahasiswa get all. Okay, I will check to the models. Mahasiswa get all. Yes, get all. It is the same. You have to make sure. Sometimes you are forgetting the name of the functions because it is not the default functions in Visual Studio Code. We have to remember its code. So the best practice when you are trying to create these applications, you can have a select for compare like this one. Oops. Okay, and then you can compare side by side. See, it will make your life much better when you have two codes side by side, and then you can use each functions on the left side of the comparisons as a reference for your actual code right now. That's my hack. But I prefer to use second second screen. It is much more easier for me to navigate. Okay, we are declaring a new array called data in here. Okay, while it is true, there's some row. That's the logic. While the row based on our result fetching the associate. Okay, it is true. While it is true, the data, wait a minute, the data will be the row. So each row of data will be stored as row, yeah, until the end of line. But if there will be no data, yeah, we can declare later on our actual response, yeah, later on. But I think we don't have to put everything in here. Yeah, we just utilize every possible scenario. Yeah, my friend texting me. Okay, but we are already at get. Okay, after get it will be post. Okay, when we are done, yeah, you have to encode each data. You just simply copy paste these sections over here. Yeah, every data we encode every data from the row, but not row. The reference will be data in here. Okay, JSON encode. I will move it over here. Okay, and the end of the case will be break. Okay, the next one will be post. Okay, on post, since we are trying to write some data, yeah, you have to mention the every variable that will be used in this method. For in this context, the nama, the name, and also IPK. Okay. Nama, we will get the data from the post method with the identifier of nama, and the value will be blank by default. Okay, you can just copy paste this one and help yourself to simplify the work. Nama, name, and also IPK. What is happening over here? Okay, sorry. There's a friend of mine that is chatting to ask, "Do you want to play paddle at 4?" And then I'm answering no. Yeah, I haven't finished my what you call that? My tutorial. Okay, IPK. Okay, and now if okay the data inside all of, for example, the nama, the name, and IPK is empty, there will be what you call that? Will be a message that we have to fulfill all of the field. Okay, the logic behind that is $nama. We are using three equals, so the value, the field, the type, and the length should be null in here, or the name is also null, or the IPK is also null. Okay, and the message will be, my bad, yeah, let me just copy paste from here lah. Oh sorry, I will copy paste from here. the message will be successful. The message will be please fill all of the fields. Okay, sedikit ngegas ya, but it's okay. And then exit. Okay, exit from the switch case. Okay, the next one. If mahasiswa and the create functions is selected, and the parameters will be nama, nim, IPK, then in this context we will create a new a new message that we can insert the data. Yeah, but we have to make sure that nama, nim, and IPK have the same identifiers sent from our front end, and in the Mahasiswa.php, see in create in here we have the same value nama, nim, IPK. Yeah, there will be a problem. For example, you are trying to fix a code using ChatGPT. You want to get the best results, and you are trying to speak using English. There will be a chance that they will change the nama into name, and it will create a problem for you. So it is much better to double or triple check each variable names, each identifier. For example, this one, yeah, to be in sync for each variables. I don't know the results because I haven't run these applications. Yeah, we will see on the next part, and hopefully there will be no error. Hopefully, yeah, I can only help hope for the best. Okay, if it is success is true. Okay, data inserted. Okay, I know this is a problem. Okay, but if it's failed, the message will be failed to insert data. Okay, and then break. Okay. See, the next one is put. Yeah, if you are feeling lazy, you can copy paste this one. Yeah, but bear in mind you have to make sure that you are understand each of the code, but it is much more easier to just write it one by one. Yeah, you have to be focused. You have to make sure that you are not having any typo. Yeah, you can see from the sign from Visual Studio Code if there is any errors. Yeah, there will be a red identifier or red lines, yeah, under each error problem or under each problems. Yeah, we are trying to parsing the string, okay, from the contents inserted from the data file. Get contents from where? From the input of input data. Okay, yeah, if you didn't understand this line, later on our front end, yeah, we will try to utilize this input method to put the data and also to update the data. ID is put data. The identifier will be ID. Okay, and it is null by default, like this one, and you can just copy paste to help you write easier. Nama, Oh, wait a minute. Name. What is happening? What is happening? Wait. Did something wrong in here? IPK. Oke. Nama name IPK. Yeah, like this one. Okay. And then we'll try to make sure that every field is fulfilled. Okay, you can utilize this code over here. Just copy and paste like this, and then we are adding a new one called ID. Okay. Now we call it as data is missing, rather not field is not fulfilled. Field is not fulfilled. Yeah, what the language? Okay. Okay. The next one, if mahasiswa, we are utilizing the update. Okay, update ID nama nim IPK. Yeah, I'm just copy paste this one. If mahasiswa, ding, update ID nama nim IPK. Okay, like this. Okay, there will be two possible response. The first one is okay. Yeah, just copy paste this one. Wait. Okay, data updated if it is true. Failed to update data. Okay, see, right, works smarter, not harder. Okay, update data name IPK picture. It is the same parameters as we declared on Mahasiswa.php. Okay, the message is the same. Yeah, if it's failing, if we cannot update the data, yeah, it will be success will be false and the failed to update data. Okay, the next one. I think this is the last one. Delete. The delete, yeah. You have to try to use this one, copy paste this one. File get content php input delete data in here. Okay, delete data where the ID will be defined later on from the front end. Okay, if ID is empty, oops, my bad. Okay, JSON and call. Okay, ID not sent. Okay, atau ID is needed. It depends. Yeah, I think you have a better English than me. Exit. Okay, if the ID is already sent, now this is our chance to using the actual functions from the Mahasiswa.php. Delete this one. Yeah, I will copy paste this one. Delete ID as in the controller. If mahasiswa, we are selecting the functions delete and the parameters is ID, and if it is accessed, yeah, the first possible one will be success to delete the mahasiswa. See, I'm just copy paste from the available code in here. Okay, if the ID already found, okay, and it is deleted in here, see, delete, and it is deleted, yeah, we will return the actual response, yeah, which is data deleted. But if it is failed, data failed to delete the data. Break and also the default in here. Yes, we're done with the MahasiswaController.php. And the last one, since we are going to access this database from API Mahasiswa, we have to define the index.php that will require the MahasiswaController.php. Okay, just ignore the sound. Okay, index.php in here. I think I will end this tutorial, and we will continue later on when we are trying to test the endpoint of each backend, and how to do it later on in the other tutorial. Maybe tonight I will create the tutorial, the part 2. If you are curious about the actual controllers, yes, double L, Mahasiswa Controller, I hate it. Okay, Mahasiswa.php, and now when you are trying to access the index.php, okay, it will redirect to MahasiswaController.php. Why it is important later on when you are trying to, for example, create the actual Swagger UI later on in, I think, on different tutorial, okay, you will need this index.php. We haven't declared the swagger.yaml, but on the part 2 we will try to test this one. Okay, maybe I will try this one. I will try to communicate. Wait a minute, a new tab, it's much better than, okay, HTTP localhost, and then API mahasiswa. Ding. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Index. Okay, see, there's a problem in here with our database, and it should be shown all of the database. Yeah, I think I have some typo in here or permissions. Yeah, maybe we'll try to solve it later in the part 2. I think the problem controls Mahasiswa.php. There's no problem in here. Require once, and the header is application JavaScript object notations. Yeah, there's no problem at all. But we will continue later on the part 2 of this tutorial, and hopefully you will have a great time. I will try to upload right now, and you can learn about it on this meeting on Wednesday 18 as our structured individual study. And for the Teknik Informatika Prodi, yeah, you will learn about this code later on tomorrow morning at 9. Have a great day.